This is the case of Robert Fisher, Part 2. If you want to know more about this case, please continue watching.
You are watching Roll a Mile in My Shoes TV.
Now, as we've learned in Part 1, Robert Fisher was a cruel man, an abusive man to his wife and children, but he told a hunting companion of his a little time before the murder that he was going to recommit his time to his family, I guess, because at that time he felt like things were getting off track. Now, I can't say if that was a cover for what he was about to do or if he really at the time thought that this was going to happen. Not really sure there, but seeing as he did what he did and why we're talking about him today, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that that might have been a cover up because he knew what he was about to do and that was a part of his plan. Now, as I previously stated, a neighbor reported hearing a loud argument coming from inside the Fisher home at 10 p.m. on April 9th, 2001. And I think, like I said before, this is where things got out of hand and it took a turn for the worse. Now, when that neighbor heard that loud argument coming from their home, that would be 10 hours before it exploded into flames. Now, the police theorized that the murders took place between 9:30 p.m. and 10:15 p.m. At 10:43 p.m., Fisher was spotted on an ATM camera where he withdrew $280 and Mary's Toyota 4Runner was in the background. Now, I don't know why he would be so, I guess, careless to take his wife's car instead of his own, unless he didn't have a car of his own at the time, which I can't really imagine with him being a control freak and all, why he wouldn't have a car of his own. But, that sometimes happens. And, seeing as he was a control freak, the car might have been listed in her name, but they primarily used it or referred to it as his car. That's probably what happened. After he was spotted on this ATM camera withdrawing that $280, police believe he returned to the house to commit the murders, but they also believe that he had already murdered his family by then because he was using Mary's car, and this is the car that he is alleged to have fled in. And it is said that Mary Fisher was shot in the back of the head. So basically, she probably had no idea that this was even coming. And I feel like he, as a man, the least he could have done was not do a cowardly thing like shoot a woman in the back of the head. He could have shot her, at at face range so she could at least see what was happening. But I feel like he couldn't do it, so he took the coward's way out and shot her in the back of the head. Now, I feel like the children, Brittany and Bobby, got the, I guess you could say, harsher end of the stick because their throats, both of them, were slashed from ear to ear. I guess he had to make sure that he, you know, got rid of everybody, no chances, no any of that. My thing is, I also would like to know, since the couple was fighting about money and intimate matters, does that mean that Mary was going to divorce him and leave him and he couldn't take that chance? And is that why she referred to her job as a, I think she called it a security fund? Was she saving up money to leave him and he found out and he couldn't take it? So he did what most controlling psychopaths do, is live by the motto of, if I can't have you, then nobody's gonna have you. And he felt like he had to get rid of her. I wonder, is that what happened? Now, remember how I said that Robert had many jobs at one point? And at one point, he was a firefighter. Now, this comes into play because at 8:42 a.m., the morning of the house explosion, the house, you know, eventually exploded, and firefighters were immediately alerted to the explosion, which was strong enough to collapse the front brick wall and rattle the frames of neighboring houses for 1/2 mile in all directions. Now you have to wonder about that. Like, he's a firefighter, so obviously he's going to know how to, I guess, set fires and make it the worst as it possibly can be, because I don't know anyone who can set a fire and, not make, who can set a fire and do that if they don't know exactly what they're doing. And yet again, like I said, Robert was a firefighter, so I'm pretty sure just as well as he knew how to put out fires, he also knew how to start them as well. And you can kind of tell that he, knew that he was going to uh make sure that his families were murdered in the way that they were, because before firefighters arrived, neighbors used actual garden hoses to keep the flames under control, and firefighters kept the 20-foot height blaze from spreading to other houses, and a series of other small explosions believed to be caused by rifle ammunition or paint cans. Now, all of this stuff that is believed to be causing secondary explosions is what caused firefighters not to be able to get too close to the house. And one firefighter suffered minor injuries to his leg when he lost his balance and fell near the blaze. Now, the gas line from the house's furnace had been pulled, so I'm pretty sure you can guess where that's going. He was trying to make sure that he covered his tracks very, very, very well. So the accumulating gas was later ignited by a candle that Fisher had allegedly lit, waiting for the gas to accumulate and descend to the flames hours after being lit. Now, I don't know why, but to me it feels a little bit like this is overkill, because you've already shot your wife in the back of the head. I mean, and I'm pretty sure you made sure that she was dead before you left the house, as well as your two kids whose throats that you slit from ear to ear, which, if that didn't kill those kids and they were still alive, they were going to be in a very bad state, or a vegetative state, if they did ever wake up from those injuries. But I guess just to put the icing on the cake, so to speak, he had to make sure that his bases were covered in all areas, to make sure that he had time enough to get away from and get to where he was going. Now, a lot of people, along with police, believe that the reason why Fisher set the house on fire is to not only conceal evidence of his crime, but believe that he had died in the blaze as well. But as you all know, the only bodies that were found were the burned bodies of a woman, which is his wife, and two children, and they were identified as Mary, age 38, Brittany, age 12, and Bobby, age 10. Investigators theorized that Fisher murdered his family because he felt threatened by Mary's intentions to divorce him and did not want Brittany and Bobby to go through what he did as a child. I mean, sir, if that was your end goal, then you failed miserably because, you know, they would have been better off if that had happened, seeing as you were as controlling and as abusive as you were. They would have been 10 times better off. But I guess, like I said before, he truly lived by the motto that if I can't have you, nobody else will either, and that includes my kids as well. But unfortunately, guys, that brings me to the end of this video. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please leave me a comment down in the comment section below. And if you are not already subscribed, please make sure that you subscribe and share this video. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.